Friday. Yeah, I guess that doesn't quite go together, but hey, that's what we did today. The monkey. So you may or may not have heard the song Five Little Monkeys Jumping on the Bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Four little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off and bumped his head. Mama called the doctor and the doctor said, no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Yes, so yeah, we are talking about monkey business today. What happens when kids monkey around and get hurt? I think anyone who has a kid knows that at some point in time they're going to have to take their kid to the emergency room for one thing or another at least one time. And I imagine that most of us who survived our childhood made at least one or two trips to the emergency room before we became an adult. And apparently I am no exception to that rule. All in all, I think I survived my childhood with minimal injuries. I never broke a bone, and I never had to spend a night in the hospital. So yeah, I think that counts as a fairly successful childhood with not too many injuries. But yeah, I would probably be unusual if I didn't have at least one or two stories to share of how I got hurt doing something I probably shouldn't have been doing. So my first injury that I would say that I recall happened some point when I was kindergarten, preschool. I don't really know the age. I was home, my mom was home, and I'm pretty sure my brother was somewhere at school or somewhere else. My dad was at work, and I was on the couch. I don't know if watching TV or what I was doing, but somehow I managed to fall off the couch and hit my head on the coffee table that was in front of the couch. And yeah, my mom was home, and seemed to recall she was on the phone with someone. I don't know if it was one of her friends or my dad or what she was doing, but I went into the kitchen, and probably I was crying or something, and she's like, not right now, Mike, not right now. And then I guess she realized I was hurt and bleeding and needed some attention, so she told whoever she was talking to, I'll talk to you later, and took me to the local hospital emergency room, where they probably gave me some x-rays and just checked me out, make sure, and went home with a few stitches in the back of my head. So those are my first injury where I had to go to the emergency room and get stitches. The second injury was, I think it was a few years later, but I can't really pin down the point in time this happened. But I was messing around in the bathtub. I don't know if I was in the tub alone or I was in the tub with my brother. We had toys in the tub or what was going on, but somehow I was doing something crazy in the tub, maybe trying to climb the wall, I don't know, and smashed my chin into the tile or the tub or something and cut my chin open. And this time, pretty sure the whole family was home. Mom and Dad were home, my brother was home. Don't really know what day of the week it was, but my grandfather was a surgeon and didn't live too terribly far from our home at the time. So instead of going to the hospital, we went over to my grandparents' house, and he took care of me right there on the kitchen table or wherever, stitched up my chin. See, how many people could say they had their grandfather give them stitches in someone's house and not at a hospital setting or something like that? So that was my second time needing stitches. The third time, I'm assuming it was third. I know the first one was definitely the first, and the second one came after that, but don't know if this one was before those or not. But we had a pool in our backyard that was just like a 18-inch deep pool, maybe like an 8-foot diameter. So bigger than a kiddie pool, but not like a full in-ground pool or anything like that. Just a pool that you could cool off and play in. And we were in the pool. I'm pretty sure it was my dad, my brother, myself, and I don't know if my mom was in the pool at the time or not. But seem to recall my dad kneed me in the chin. And this time, instead of cutting my chin, I bit my tongue pretty hard. And needed a trip to the hospital to have it looked at. And apparently the tongue is not the easiest thing for them to like stitch up or anything, so they just sort of said, here's some gauze and we'll try to stop the bleeding, and just don't eat anything salty or like potato chips or pretzels for a while. I'm pretty sure that it was that day or maybe the following day we had plans to get together with some friends of the family. So I remember being over at their house and not being able to eat the snacks that they were offering because they were salty foods and pretzels and chips and things like that. So I had to stay away from their snack foods. So yeah, that's like injury number 3. Nothing too serious, major. And then the last real childhood injury that I recall was definitely after I was in grade school, and it was, I think, on Sunday morning. We were up watching TV before my parents got up and playing like Foot Wars on the couch, where like my head's on one side of the couch, my brother was on the other, our feet were up against each other and trying to sort of have like a wrestling match or a reverse tug of war of who can conquer the other side of the couch. And this time I got a foot in the face or a knee in the chin or something and bit down a little bit too hard and cracked a tooth. And I'm pretty sure that, like I said, it was a Sunday, and we probably, I think we still had plans to go to a museum or do something as a family, so had to spend the day with a broken tooth, and didn't make it to the dentist's office to have them fix that tooth till the following day or week or whatever. And at that time, their approach to fixing it was to put a metal cap around the tooth. It was one of my permanent teeth, so I was old enough to have real teeth, not just a baby tooth. And so they put a metal cap on the tooth and said that'll allow it to solidify and sort of settle in. And then a month or two later, a few months later, however long it was, they took the metal cap off and capped the tooth so that it was the normal shape and size as its surrounding teeth. That cap or veneer that they put on has fallen off 3 or 4 times in my lifetime, so I've had to have dentists repair that tooth a few times since then. But yeah, that was I think the last real injury that I faced that required any kind of special treatment beyond Band-Aids or just a little time at home to take care of it. But my friends and family had their share of accidents as well. Remember my brother, he broke his arm one weekend. I'm pretty sure it was a weekend. We had a chin-up bar on my outside my bedroom door, and occasionally we like to do flips on the chin-up bars and pretend we were circus performers. So yeah, I think he tried to do a flip off to get off the chin-up bar and didn't quite nail the landing right, broke his arm. He needed his own trip to the emergency room. So yeah, in my childhood, that was the only broken bone that either one of us had. So yeah, we were pretty lucky. But yeah, my friends, I think it was around the 6th grade when my best friend was in science class. We had different teachers or schedules at that point in time, so I wasn't in the room at the time, so I don't know exactly what happened, but he broke a test tube and cut his hand with it. So I don't know if he fell into it and smashed it on the desk or the floor, and his hand just got smashed it and got glass all into the palm of his hand. But yeah, he had to leave school and go to the hospital. And we were friends, and I remember like afterwards, he showed me his hand, and he had a hard time. He could never bend his hand properly afterwards, and like a year later they had a follow-up procedure to clean out the wound and found some more glass that they had left behind. Maybe cleared out some of the scar tissue to give him some better motion in his hand. But yeah, so that was one of my friends who had an incident with a test tube during science class at school. Then I think it was the 7th grade. It was one morning we were on the school bus, and one of the girls in my class gets on the bus and comes back to where we're sitting and is like, I have a problem. And she shows us her hand, and there was this bump on her hand. Well, it seems that she had been playing with one of her neighbors, who I think also went to our school, and he had a BB gun, and they thought they could do the William Tell act, or one of those circus acts where she holds a balloon in her hand, and he shoots at it and tries to pop the balloon. Missed the balloon, hit her hand, the BB went into her hand, and she was afraid to tell her parents, hey, Jimmy next door shot me with a BB gun and hit my hand. So she was like, what should I do? It's like, well, you gotta do something, because you can't just go the rest of your life with a BB gun, BB pellet stuck in your hand. I'm assuming she told someone and dealt with it, because yeah, I don't remember anything else coming of that story afterwards. And one final accident story, again, not someone I directly knew, but one of the kids in my brother's grade at school had an archery incident where he lost his eye. My recollection of the story goes that there were two brothers, and they had a clubhouse in the backyard. One of them was inside the clubhouse, and the other was shooting archery, and maybe the target was the door of the clubhouse or something like that. The older brother walks out of the clubhouse as his younger brother is shooting, and the arrow hits him right in the eye, and he lost his eye. So yeah, injuries happen. That's probably the worst injury of all the injury stories I had ever heard growing up, of someone I knew from school, at least vaguely knew some around school, some around church, who lost an eye in a childhood accident. Yeah, most of the other injuries at school were broken legs, broken arms, just the normal stuff. But yeah, kids will be kids. You have to expect a trip to the hospital at least once if you have kids. So, don't monkey around. Yeah, so this is our monkey balloon. He's got his banana. He's not going to be jumping on the bed tonight because no more monkeys jumping on the bed. So until next time, see you later. Alligator. After a while, crocodile. Thanks for watching.